Well, today, President Trump taking his economic pitch to the voters, kicking off his affordability tour in the key swing state of Pennsylvania.
So what will he say? White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt joins us now live. Caroline, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. It's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
So, Caroline, this is the president at his best when he's on the road talking with the American people. What can we anticipate him telling the folks on the road?
Sure. Well, we greatly look forward to going to northeast Pennsylvania tonight, and President Trump is going to give a positive, economic-focused speech where he talks about all that he and his team has done to provide bigger paychecks and lower prices for the American people. And don't forget, a year ago, President Trump inherited the worst inflation crisis in modern American history from the Biden administration, and I have watched every single day as President Trump and his tremendous economic team have been working to fix it. And they have through a very simple economic formula, which President Trump will talk about tonight. Number one, tax cuts. Within 6 months, President Trump signed the largest middle-class tax cut in American history. No tax on tips, overtime, Social Security. And you'll hear stories of everyday Americans tonight who will benefit directly from those tax rebates next year. You look at the massive deregulatory effort from President Trump and his team, which is saving American households and small businesses money. And then, of course, unleashing American energy dominance, which is having a direct impact on the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we have seen oil prices down 20%. In 22 states, the average price of gas is less than $2.75 a gallon. Gas prices are at their lowest point in 5 years. This is all thanks to President Trump's economic agenda. There's a lot more work to do, and he'll talk more about that tonight. But this is going to be President Trump's bread and butter issue, focused on the economy. Nobody knows it better than him.
Yeah, I think Republicans are hoping that the no tax on tips and all the ways that we're going to save in our taxes come April 15th next year, or whenever the date is, it's still April 15th, that we'll see our paychecks, we'll see more money in our pocketbooks, which will help the Republicans in the midterms. But these Democrats, they are running on the word affordability. I know Donald Trump has said it's a con job because we know that they want to raise taxes on the rich, and the way they're going to do this in free grocery stores and free buses, it's not going to work. But what should Republicans be saying? What should the Republican message be to combat what the Democrats are doing?
Well, the Democrats are the greatest con artists in American politics. They are pretending to champion the issue of affordability when they themselves created the worst inflation crisis in a generation. You can't create a problem and then turn around and say, I'm the best person to fix it. No, that's why President Trump was reelected, to fix it, and that's exactly what he's doing. So as President Trump has been screaming from the rooftops, Republicans need to remain tough and smart, and they need to be more vocal about touting the accomplishments of this administration. Again, inflation has slowed because of President Trump's economic policies. We see wages for the first time in 5 years are increasing by about $1,000 per the average American worker. We know wages were declining under this president. And as you mentioned, Ainsley, next spring, these tax rebates, that's real money back into the pockets of the American people, for workers who work overtime, for those who collect tips, for those who are on Social Security. They are going to see that money back in their pocketbooks, and every single Democrat on Capitol Hill voted against these historic tax cuts. So you can't say you're for the working man and woman when you vote to raise their taxes. The Republicans and President Trump have a proven economic formula and agenda that's working. Right. It's focused on bigger paychecks and lower prices, and that's what President Trump will talk about tonight.
I want to talk about Venezuela, but before we go, is this going to be just a one-off, or do you have other events planned for the next few weeks?
I think you'll see President Trump out there most definitely when it comes to the new year. Of course, we have Christmas coming up in a couple of weeks, but there's nobody that loves the American public more in being out there on the road than President Trump.
So let's talk about what Secretary of War Pete Hegseth will be briefing the Gang of Eight, select House leaders as well as Senate, about what's going on with Venezuela. So, of course, there's this pressure to release the double tap, the second hit on that drug boat. And ultimately, the president says it's up to the Secretary of War whether he should do it or not. So your thoughts about releasing that tape?
Well, how refreshing that we have a commander-in-chief who trusts our Secretary of War and trusts Pentagon leadership to do the right thing by our warfighters. And I think it speaks to the depravity of the Democrat Party that they have stooped so low. They are attacking our military leadership. They are attacking the brave men and women who conducted these strikes well within the law, following the orders from their commander-in-chief. And let's not forget, these are drug boats. These are narco-terrorists. And in 2024, the GOP platform at the Republican Party convention written by President Trump and his team stated that we are going to, quote, demolish foreign drug cartels. President Trump campaigned on this. He is delivering on it. And every time President Trump and Secretary Hegseth and the White House are criticized for blowing up drug boats, we are thinking about Americans like Ann Funder, who lost her 15-year-old son, Weston, to a drug overdose. We are thinking of the hundreds of thousands of Americans across the country who have been riddled by this drug crisis in our own hemisphere, in our own backyard. And I think it's great President Trump is finally paying attention to it and taking strong action.
So real quickly, Caroline, there's a report in the Washington Post on Venezuelan Maduro. It says that he's shaken but still standing and plans to wait out Trump. This is what the source close to Maduro revealed. Deep down, they're nervous, but they think nothing will happen. They want to see how far Trump will go. Can they wait out Trump is the question, Caroline.
Well, Lawrence, I'm always quite hesitant to believe anything I read in the Washington Post these days. But I will tell you that I believe it's true that Nicolas Maduro is very scared, and he should be. Nicolas Maduro's illegitimate regime has been sending not only these illegal drugs to the United States, but also the worst of the worst criminals, inhumane murderers and drug traffickers. They unleashed our prisons into our country over the past 4 years, and Nicolas Maduro is now paying a very steep price for those consequences, just as President Trump promised he would.
If he doesn't go, does that mean that he ends up stronger because he was able to stare down the President of the United States? Is there pressure on this White House to get him out?
I think there is pressure for President Trump to deliver on what he said he would do, which is to take out the foreign drug cartels, and that's exactly what the president is focused on right now.
If he does that, Maduro loses all of this money, the drug money. Thank you so much, Caroline, for coming on with us.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.